Welcome to the Bill Gates module for the Modern Entrepreneur's Success Story series. By the end of this module, you will learn a brief biography of Bill Gates, list Bill Gates' rules of life, learn some curious facts about Bill Gates, understand how his systems changed the world, learn from some of his inspiring thoughts and from his success. What do you know about Bill Gates? Let's go through the key highlights of his life. Bill Gates was born and named William Henry Gates III on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington. In 1968, Gates began to show an interest in computer programming at the age of 13 at Lakeside School. In 1970, at the age of 15, Bill Gates went into business with his pal Paul Allen. They developed Trafodata, a computer program that monitored traffic patterns in Seattle. In 1973, Bill Gates graduated from Lakeside and scored 1590 out of 1600 on the college SAT test. In the same year, Gates and Allen formed a partnership firm called Microsoft, a blend of microcomputer and software. It soon lost the hyphen and became Microsoft. In November 1980, IBM was looking for software that would operate their upcoming personal computer, or PC, and approached Microsoft. Legend has it that at the first meeting with Bill Gates, someone at IBM mistook him for an office assistant and asked him to serve coffee. In November 1985, Bill Gates and Microsoft launched Windows nearly 2 years after his announcement. In 1995, Windows 95 laid the foundation for what Microsoft is today and sold 40 million copies in its first year. Windows 95 was followed a week later by Internet Explorer, which became many people's first web browser. In 1998, Microsoft became the world's biggest company. By 2018, Windows 10 reached 1 billion installations. Bill was a voracious reader as a child, spending many hours poring over reference books such as the encyclopedia. Around the age of 11 or 12, Bill's parents began to have concerns about his behavior. He was doing well in school, but he seemed bored and withdrawn at times, and his parents worried he might become a loner. Bill dropped out of Harvard after realizing that he could make an impact on the world right away by starting a software company to utilize new technologies. He realized that sometimes opportunities come knocking only for a short window of time, and one must seize that opportunity, or it will be forever lost. Seizing the day is just one of Bill Gates' rules. Once he shared this entire rules of life list with high school graduates. Rule 1. Life is not fair. Get used to it. Rule 2. The world won't care about your self-esteem. The world will expect you to accomplish something before you feel good about yourself. Rule 3. You will not make $40,000 a year right out of high school. Rule 4. If you think your teacher is tough, wait till you get a boss. 5. Flipping burgers is not beneath your dignity. Your grandparents had a different world of burger flipping. They called it opportunity. Rule 6. If you mess up, it's not your parents' fault, so don't whine about your mistakes. Learn from them. Rule 7. Before you were born, your parents weren't as boring as they are now. They got that way from paying your bills, cleaning your clothes, and listening to you talk about how cool you are. So, before you save the rainforest from the parasites of your parents' generation, try delousing the closet in your own room. Rule 8. Your school may have done away with winners and losers, but life hasn't. In some schools, they have abolished failing grades and everyone gets a medal simply for effort and for showing up. This has no resemblance to real life. Rule 9. Life is not divided into semesters. You don't get summers off. You are expected to show up every day for 8 hours. Rule 10. Television is not real life. Your life is not a sitcom, and your problems will not all be solved in 30 minutes. Rule 11. Be nice to nerds. You may end up working for them. Here are some curious facts to give you more of a glimpse into the man that is Bill Gates. As a school student, he used to brag that he would be a millionaire by the time he was 30. He became one by the time he was 31. He pursued his passion of programming through college. It was at Lakeside School that Bill met Paul Allen, who was 2 years his senior. The two became fast friends, bonding over common enthusiasm for computers, even though they were very different people. Allen was more reserved and shy. Bill was feisty and at times combative. The first computer program that Bill Gates wrote was a tic-tac-toe game. Gates was once arrested in New Mexico in 1977 for driving without a license. Bill Gates' biggest regret is that he doesn't know any foreign languages. Gates said his kids will only inherit $10 million each, despite his immense wealth. There is a little sign on many doors at Microsoft. It features the blue monster and reads, "Change the world or go home." Not only does this phrase capture the spirit of thousands of Microsoft employees, it speaks to the way Bill Gates drives his life. That is, his purpose is to change the world with whatever he does. He aims to build a better world, whether it's one version, one platform, one system, one idea, one cause, or one innovation at a time. As entrepreneurs, even you must relate to this and define how will your idea change the world. Consumer PCs didn't always run Windows. Before Windows arrived, PCs came with Microsoft's MS-DOS operating system. Life then wasn't as simple as it is now because systems were more complex and not intuitive at all. You needed technical knowledge to use a PC. For example, to open a program, you needed to type a command line you had to know by heart. Remember, there was no Google then. Multitasking was impossible as only one software could be opened at a time. Next, let's see how Bill Gates made life simple with Microsoft. Windows 95 laid the foundation for what Microsoft is today. Windows 95 was followed a week later by Internet Explorer, which became many people's first web browser. Consumers began to realize that computers can be used to find a wealth of information, communicate with long-lost friends, and for entertainment. Sales for the PCs boomed. According to the Office for National Statistics, 1/4 of households in Britain had a computer by 1995, and by 2001, this had doubled. When Windows 95 sold 40 million copies in its first year, it was hailed as a huge success. In 1998, Microsoft became the world's biggest company, and the $613 billion market capitalization it reached the following year was the biggest for any listed entity at the time. The success of Windows 95 teaches us that at a time when computers were only meant for the geeks, Microsoft simplified everything using computers and thereby fulfilled the aspiration of the masses who always wanted a computer but weren't technically savvy enough to use it. So, as an entrepreneur, look to simplify existing solutions or products, as huge successes are not breakthrough innovations all the time. Big successes can be also built on incremental and user-driven innovation. Bill Gates loves to share his learnings, and we have no reason to complain if we got some insights into his amazing brain through these quotes. Let's check out some of them and then take a moment to reflect on what they signify. If you show people the problems and you show people the solutions, they will be moved to act. This is a great quote for leaders as it shows how to get things done through your team. As per this tip from Gates, clearly define problems for your team and also show them your vision for a solution so they can have a clear idea of what they need to work on. You've got to want to be in this incredible feedback loop where you get the world-class people to tell you what you're doing wrong. This quote signifies that despite being very successful, Bill Gates always recommends learning from his mistakes and learning from others. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking that they can't lose. Bill Gates values learning and cautions against becoming complacent with success. Hence, he recommends us to avoid complacency even when we're successful and strongly tells us to learn from and be prepared for failures. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. This quote ascertains that Bill Gates wants to learn from each and every experience. You should proactively seek feedback from an unhappy customer, as this is the greatest opportunity to improve your product and services. Here are a few lessons we can learn from Bill Gates' journey. First, make an impact. Bill Gates makes choices based on impact. Whether it's following his passion or investing in a cause, he doesn't do things just because he can. He does things because they matter and he can make them scale. Next, you must get a sense of urgency. The world changes fast. The market changes faster. Bill says, in this business, by the time you realize you're in trouble, it's already too late to save yourself. Unless you're running scared all the time, you're gone. Bill Gates also recommends us to surround ourselves with smart people and not to go for our dreams alone. You're better when you've got the right people around you. Bill Gates built a culture of the best and brightest and was good at convincing his friends, such as Paul Allen and Steve Ballmer, to join him on his adventures. By surrounding himself with smart people, Bill was able to scale. In addition, he wants all leaders to be the platform people can build on. See the role that you play in building something that lets other people build on what you do best. And finally, he recommends you take care of your people. Bill Gates says, great organizations demand a high level of commitment by the people involved. He set a powerful example of taking care of employees, for private offices for developers, to creating a workspace for extreme empowerment, engagement, and passion. Congratulations! You have completed the Bill Gates module from the Modern Entrepreneur's Success Stories series. Be sure to check out the other modules in the series.